This is Michael Carozzo. This is my beer story, and this is the brew house inside of Fortside Brewing. If Fortside Brewing sounds familiar, if you've watched any of my other videos, a few days ago I talked about Fortside as being a really awesome part of the beer community here in Southwest Washington. They do a lot to contribute to the festivals, to events, helping out other brewers. And today, I mentioned in the other video that this may be happening, this is an upcoming event. Today was the Northbank Beer Week collaboration brew. This brew house in this room right here just emptied out just a few moments ago. It was way too loud in here to shoot a video then, so I waited for everybody to leave, and now I'm shooting the video. But the Northbank Beer Week collaboration pulled together, they're still working on the final numbers. It's in the 20s. 20-something breweries came together, contributed ingredients, talked about the recipe, worked on this via email and groups for literally a couple months now. This has been in the works. Today was the final day, and of course, each brewery brought, more than one or two people. A lot of the breweries brought 5 or 6 people with them from their breweries. So there was somewhere in the neighborhood of 50, 60, maybe even 70 people came through here today. It was just a cool collaboration. It was a cool community thing that involved all the breweries. I guess I should reiterate what Northbank Beer Week is. Northbank Beer is all the beer brewed from Long Beach out in the west, all across the north bank of the Columbia River in the state of Washington, all the way out to White Salmon, which is way east, beyond the Bonneville Dam, where Everybody's Brewing is. So from Everybody's Brewing way out there to North Jetty Brewing in Long Beach, that is the north bank of the Columbia River, and there's just some tremendous beer that comes out of this region. There's 30 different counts, have it anywhere from 32 to 35. I'd have to double check that number. Breweries are in that area, so tons of great beer comes out of that. This collaboration, though, had something special. There is a malting company. So malt is the grains, the wheat or the barley, sometimes rye, that is used in beer. It's what gives beer its sweetness. It's what the sugars are activated from. The yeast then interacts with those sugars to create alcohol. But that grain comes from a place here in Vancouver, Washington, in southwest Washington, the north bank of the Columbia River. They sit right on the river, overlooking the Columbia. It's called Great Western Malting Company, and they distribute through a group called the Country Malt Group. So if you're familiar with either Country Malt Group or Great Western Malting Company, they're based right here in Vancouver, Washington, in southwest Washington, where I make my home. And if you've drank 2 different beers in your life, statistically, one of those beers was probably included some malt from Great Western Malting Company and Country Malt Group. That's how huge they are. They provide so much malt, and they're right here in our backyard. But this was unique in that it used, this beer that was made today is going to be an India Session Ale. It's going to come in at about 4.5%. And the beer itself uses a new malt called Expedition Malt. It's actually the first time, even though Great Western Malting Company has been based here a long time, the farms that they get their grain from aren't all in southwest Washington. This is actually in Clark County malt, Clark County grains, Clark County barley specifically, was malted in Clark County at Great Western Malt, and then now is being brewed here today for the first time in Clark County at Fortside Brewing Company with a collaboration of 20-something other breweries. It's really going to be a fantastic beer. If you have the chance to make it to Southwest Washington from wherever you're from, September 22nd to 30th is a celebration of beer, events every day, just all over the county. It's just a ton of fun. So really looking forward to that. Looking forward to this beer. I'll tell you a little bit more about the beer. It's the hops. Interested in the hops, of course. It's got Galaxy, Vic's Secret, and now I'm spacing out on what the other hop was. There was one other, Galaxy, Vic's Secret. I don't remember right now. That's okay. These are live one-shot videos, and I just can't remember. So you'll have to look it up. And no, there'll be information on this at northbankbeerweek.com. It'll be talked about at northbankbeerweek.com. It's brewed here in Vancouver, so there'll probably be a blog on brewcouver.com. And then I've mentioned before, I do some writing for New School Beer. So you can find it at newschoolbeer.com as well. That story will be up here probably in the next day or so. If you're not reading newschoolbeer.com and you're not familiar with that, whether or not this blog that I write is going to be up there today or not, you just need to go check that website out. Just need to be a part of it. You need to read it. Lots of great info on the beer community, particularly in the Northwest, but it does cover a lot of beer news from everywhere. So that's really it. I'm just floored to have been able to be here today. This is something that even 2 or 3 years ago, just being a beer geek and kind of supporting craft beer in my neck of the woods, the only ways I knew how, by drinking it, and going out to the breweries and meeting people. I never thought that I'd actually get to be there when a beer like this is made, and truly, let me know if you know of a bigger collaboration than this, for 20-something breweries to get together. It's pretty fantastic. So, beer question for today. What is your favorite collaboration beer that you've had? Usually these are one-off beers. Collaboration beer is usually done once, and it has its life, and it gets out into the market, and then it's gone. And sometimes there's recurring things, like Sierra Nevada does the beer camp collaboration each year, the whole box of collaboration beers. Stone Brewing Company is another one that's very famous for collaborations. Of all the different collaboration beers that you've had, what 2 breweries got together and made a beer that you were most excited about? That's your beer question. We'll talk about more beer tomorrow. Until then, cheers.